What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we're going to be doing a ride review of Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster. Wonder Woman is located at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas and San Antonio, Texas. There are three other rides that are similar that have the Raptor tracks. Railblazer, which is located at California's Great America. Stunt Pilot, which is at Silverwood's Theme Park. And the Jersey Devil, which is located at Six Flags Great Adventure, but Jersey Devil has yet to open to the public. I do believe that they were testing the ride last couple of weeks or so. So they're getting ready to open, so it definitely should open sometime later in the summer or beginning of the fall, hopefully. Not guaranteed. I don't really keep track of Six Flags Great Adventure, but it's going to be awesome. Wonder Woman was manufactured by Rocky Mountain Construction. It's a chain lift hill, stands about a total height of 113 feet with a 100-foot drop, reaching top speeds of 52 miles per hour with 3 inversions with a 90-degree first drop, 1,800 feet of track. The first drop, 90 degrees, is almost directly straight down. So when you're coming over the first drop, the only thing you really see is the track and the water underneath it. You don't really see, or there's really nothing else to see. Even if the drop was at 90 degrees, that's pretty much still what you would see. But the first drop it's incredible. It's great. This past trip, we took a trip to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and they had a membership appreciation event, which meant that at the end of the night, they gave exclusive ride time. So ERT on Wonder Woman is pretty much what it was. I think it was Wonder Woman and a couple of the other rides in the vicinity and in the immediate area. Nothing too crazy. Batman, and I think it was like the pool ball, whatever the hell it's called. And then after that, that was pretty much it. So I knew where I was going to be spending my 1 hour of ERT time. I spent it all on Wonder Woman. So that day I rode Wonder Woman 17 times. So I rode that ride in every single car in the train. And we're going to talk about the ride itself. This ride is very, very unique. And it is very, very great. And it's different all at the same time. The one thing that this ride does not lack is pacing. This ride's pacing is the same from as soon as you have the first drop till you hit the brakes. The pacing is fast. Like, it's really, really fast. Top speeds of about probably 50 miles per hour. But I'm going to tell you this right now. This ride, when we were riding it this past month, it was raining all day. So when we rode it, there was like no line at all because it was raining. And the tracks were wet. So you can probably figure for yourself, how great of a ride it was. It was a phenomenal ride when the tracks were wet. Completely insane. There's no words to describe how fun it was. It was just great. The pacing on this ride, especially with wet track, was so fast. And what makes the pacing so good is because after the first drop, you go through and you get ready to make a bank turn, and then as your mind's comprehending, okay, we're making this turn here, you're going into an inversion. And as you're going through the inversion, you're already going into, another element. And then you're going into another element and another element and another element. And it's just, the pacing of the ride is so fast. The ride doesn't linger anywhere. There's no slow parts of the ride, with the exception of going up the lift hill. Is the only kind of really slow part of the ride, and probably the wait in line, because this ride can get very, very long. Last summer, I've seen this ride back all the way up past the pizza place. There's that pizza station there right next to Wonder Woman, and this line has went all the way past that. So this line can get very, very long, very, very tedious. Last year, they actually quit using Flash Pass for this ride. For what reason, I don't know, but this year they started back doing it again. So you can use the Flash Pass for Wonder Woman once a day. If you have a skip the line, I think you can use one skip the line for it. But if you have the watch, I think you can only reserve a ride on the watch one time per day. which isn't necessarily bad, but there's ways to get around it if you want to be able to use, you want to be able to ride Wonder Woman multiple times. There's a way to get around it. You just have somebody else with a membership that has a skip a line. You get one, they get one. You get both of them, you get one for them. You just kind of swap with each other, and then you can use it over and however many times until you run out. But 17 times in a row is what I rode it when we went on a Saturday night to the membership appreciation event last month. The thing I liked the most is I was kind of really torn between the front seat and the back seat. I enjoy the back seat because you get the same amount of airtime in the front as you would in the back, but the airtime in the back is more noticeable and it's way more aggressive. If you're a type of that likes, a little bit of airtime, speed, upside down, and all this stuff, this is a good ride for you. But if you're not used to the aggressive types of rides, then maybe you should really consider just riding this ride anyway, even if you're not used to aggressive rides. The restraints on this ride are over-the-shoulder restraints. They're not like the B&Ms like on Batman, Superman, and some of the B&M hypers. The restraints on this ride they suck. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. They really suck. Some of the seats on this ride, they'll be quite loose. If you have bad shoulders, definitely don't ride this ride, because when you get the airtime and the elements in this ride and it starts throwing you out of your seat with the airtime and the restraints kind of really push on your shoulders a lot. I can't imagine last summer how many times I came home with bruised shoulders because of this ride. But I'm not complaining about it. I didn't care because I was having fun and I enjoyed it. And even though it was just a little bit of pain, seemed completely 100% worth it. Because I used to always ride this ride in the back, and I rode this ride in the back more times than I have rode it in the front. But when we had the ERT time, I tried riding it more in the front to see if I would get a little bit more. It kind of feels a little bit faster in the front, but the airtime is not as severe as it is in the back. Riding in the middle, not really such a bad idea. The airtime is, kind of in the middle between the front and the back there, kind of given the fact that it's in the middle car. But still, overall, it's still a really great ride. One of the things that I noticed the most about this ride is it's one of those rides to where if you've never rode it before and you ride it for your first time, you ride the ride and then the ride starts after the first drop, and then you're having fun, you're throwing your hands up, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then when the ride hits the brakes, you're like, what just happened? Like, what was that? And it's so much fun, and you get so excited from it because the adrenaline's going, and it's all fun and dandy. But the thing where this ride excels the most is, like I said before, it's got to be pacing. The first drop is amazing. The way that this rides and how smooth this ride is completely beyond me. Very first time I rode it last year, I was really skeptical about riding a single rail coaster because it was something new. I hadn't done it before, so I was like, I'm not really sure about this, but I did it anyway just to kind of do it, and I've been hooked on it ever since. I can't really say as much as smoothness as this was the very first Raptor coaster. And then there was California's Great America, and then now you got, everybody wants one now because they're high demand. They're high demand for these rides. This ride cost $7 million. Six Flags Fiesta Texas paid for it. I'm not sure what the prices of the ones at California's Great America and Six Flags Great Adventure are, but these rides always have a really good positive turnout, especially in the general public, because they always love these rides. I love this ride, and if I had to choose between this ride and Iron Rattler, I couldn't. There's just no way, because they're both phenomenal rides. They're both short rides, but they're just overall just phenomenal and amazing rides. RMC did a very, very great job putting this ride together with the way that it runs through the elements and how fast the pacing is. And the only thing that I think that is really, really negative about this ride is the restraints. The restraints are really, really, constricting. They really push down on you a lot, and it's really, really painful on the shoulders. But aside from that, the ride is fucking great, man. It's like top notch. It's really great. If I had to rate this ride and review this ride as 10 being the best ride out there, I'd have to give this thing a 9. A 9 out of 10. That is freaking above and beyond just about any ride that you could find at Six Flags Over Texas easily. These are one of the reasons why we go to this park, because the park is beautiful. The hospitality is always great, and because they've got better quality rides there. But that is something for a different video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. Wonder Woman, Six Flags Fiesta Texas, 9 out of 10. That's going to do it for us here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you would, please smash that like button to help the channel grow, to help out the algorithm. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. I upload videos 3 times a week. If you haven't already, go look down in the description below. Follow all my social media. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.